Everyone, it's Vision, and I have a 3D printer. I'm also into keyboards, so I decided why not 3D print some keycaps? How good or bad can they be? Let's get started. So the first thing I wanted to do is to find a keycap set. I'm not really much of a 3D designer, like at all, so I went and found this guy. I just want to thank Minicoin for the design. It came out really great. So I went over to Micro Center and I landed on two inland filaments, PLA Plus light blue and Silk PLA blue silver, and this will be the first time I'm printing actually with Silk PLA. And I want to give it to Micro Center. Their filament has been my go-to for a while now, and I actually like the upgraded pictures on the side, the graphic. It's a lot nicer compared to the older one and just kind of gives it that extra flair. And I really am happy with the colors. I think this light blue looks amazing. And the silver blue looks cool, but I can definitely see how the end results will kind of come out from just looking at the roll itself. And again, both of these, I'm really happy with the choices that I went for this keyboard. So the first thing I got to do is prep my 3D printer. I haven't used it in a bit, and I apologize for all the dust in the machine. It doesn't really look that dusty when I'm working with it, but in post with all this video, it looks really messy. So this is an Ender 3 Pro. I got this printer for about $100 from Micro Center when they're having a deal, and this printer is nowhere near stock. I've upgraded the motherboard, added a CR Touch auto leveler, glass bed with better springs, Capricorn Bowden tube, metal extruder, and a filament holder with bearings. Now that is a lot and $150 worth of parts basically. Although to 3D print you don't really need them. I got these add-ons to improve prints, improve the bed adhesion, and allow for more successful prints. So to set up for the first filament, I'm going to go ahead and preheat the end, pull out the old one, and put in the new filament. Adding the keycaps to Cura, I was looking for the best method to print these. I originally wanted to print them upside down so I don't need supports. However, after 11 different variations of print settings and tests, I just ended up printing the proper side up using tree supports. And I finally learned that I love tree supports. They're so easy to remove. So I uploaded the G-code for testing and I want to start a new print. And of course I had to make sure I added some Elmer's glue to make the print adhesion a bit better, and also removing the print a lot easier, as if I don't have it, I do have to fight it off my glass bed. I don't know if it's for all glass beds that it's like that, but in the videos I've seen, I think I'm the only one dealing with this problem. And unsurprisingly, my first test print failed. My bed wasn't leveled enough, probably because I haven't actually printed in a few months and the way I carry it around. I'm gonna go ahead and level it off and then send a new print. And feel free to let me know down in the comments below if anyone's interested in some printing tips. I'm just leveling the bed, and yes, even though I have an auto leveler, it does require kind of a base leveling, and I'm just going to be using the paper method. And we're finally getting to the point of the video actually 3D printing the keycaps. I'm printing one for the first row just to make sure it fits right, it comes out right, the sizing, and also that it specifically works on the milky yellow switches that I have. So this print is one of the ones that I did not end up using. I ended up printing the keycap upside down, and as you can tell, the supports in the bottom, they don't look good, and also trying to take them apart is kind of a pain. So I ended up just flipping the model and printing them all out that way. Now something that came up is actually the original tube that I had on here broke, and this is actually an upgraded one. It's the plastic piece that keeps it in the extruder, so I had to replace that. And because I was actually having failed prints due to the line snapping, I also upgraded the filament spool holder with a bearing one, so it spins a lot easier, and I stopped running into those issues too. Alright, so after 4 sets of prints with a total time of roughly 25 hours and 5 different sets, not including failures, it took a very long time. Now let's see if it's actually worth it. Let's swap these keycaps out from my $10 keyboard and throw them on there. Now, as you can tell, these keycaps, they're not smooth. These cherry-like profiles have different angles, concaves, and heights for each row, and as you can tell, none of them are really that smooth. And I did attempt to sand down a keycap for testing using 150, 220, and 320 sandpaper. However, I did notice two things. I could not properly sand in the groove and it started to ruin the profile, and also I removed the nice shine. I could sand and paint, but what's the point of the colors I got? This printer is an FDM printer, meaning you will get layer lines. I could adjust settings for the printer to have thicker walls and tops to resolve so I can sand, and I think in the future I will inevitably attempt it again. Now, is 3D printing keycaps worth it? Well, let's look at the prices. My last keycap set I got was $40 including tax from Amazon. The total filament that I used was just about under $2. Now, material, this is definitely worth it, but the question is it worth the time? I did spend 25 hours on printing alone, not including the initial leveling, cure printing settings, and the broken tube, and the in-between time of prints finishing and starting a new one. Overall, this did take a week to print. Now, to me, I think it's cool to use my printers for this. The model perfectly fit, but as the 3D printing process goes, I did have to trim some of the models to make it fit and press properly, especially the spacebar. But was it worth it? Not really. However, if you were to resin print this, I believe the results would have been completely different. You'd get little to no layer lines, a solid piece, and that would definitely make it worth it. Now, don't take this as you shouldn't get a 3D printer. I've used this to make brackets for mounting cables, holding a cloud lifter under my desk, figures, boxes, other 3D models I can find on various websites. But the issue that I found with printing 3D keycaps is that it's really small. I'm really pushing the limits of my nozzle without going down in a size. Thanks for watching, everybody. What do you guys think? Would you 3D print your own keycaps? And what do you guys think the next step is? I'm kind of thinking 3D printing a whole keyboard, but let's see. If you guys liked the video, feel free to leave a comment down below. Let me know what you guys think. Leave a like, please subscribe, and have a good one.